live. So good evening, everybody. It is June 6th at 8:04 for the official minutes. Oh my gosh, hitting wrong buttons. 8:04 p.m. for the AmpGuard of Alaska Board of Directors meeting. Oh, cool. We just in the nick of time, he made it, which means now I have to edit this file all over again. Put you back in. Okay, 8:04. Board of Directors meeting. Item number 1 on the agenda. Minutes from the previous meeting of May 16th, 2019. Did we get those posted?
You know, I might have forgot to do that this time around.
I didn't see him.
I'll get you that like right now.
Okay. I will refresh my screen and we will glance very quickly at said things. Oh my god, gravity's upside down in Palmer. Or is it? Yeah, it's Palmer. Chugiak. Okay.
Chugiak.
Made it home.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will hold off on that. Both items are on Cameron, poor guy.
Okay. There, I just sent you the link to the minute.
I see it. I'm opening the file. My due diligence. Here we go. Last week, we did a thing to accept the meetings. No update there, and on taxes last time. And then we had a discussion about copyright from the History Channel. I think we said go ahead and try if you'd like. And did you give that a shot, Victor? Did it happen, or did you just skip it?
Had to skip it. I've already made my video. I'll probably retouch up on it before the end of the rain, just because I think it'll be cool. But I don't think it's going to be worth the hassle now that I have what I need.
Fair. And that video that you made looked awesome. Side note, but yeah. So, anyways, that was previous meeting. So, everybody, yay, thumbs up. That's what happened last time. We're not missing anything. Yep. Massive. Okay, cool. All right, item number 2 on the agenda for our trusty secretary treasurer. Taxes, would you like to give us an update on where that's at?
Okay, so I'm still working on going through all of the records. Well, specifically now the Northreach account records. I've done the local chapter account records for 2018 from Alaska USA. So just still going through the paperwork and auditing what we've got. With the discussion that came up recently regarding Highland Games, I started looking at what was needed for Palmer business licenses, and it looks like we're going to have to figure out the Palmer state taxes in order to get that going. Or not state tax, Palmer city taxes.
Okay.
Sorry. And I don't see anything in any of my records from 2017 on, I didn't look any further back than that, indicating that we have actually paid Palmer city taxes. So that could be a thing.
We've paid taxes every year when we do the state fair.
Well, except that 1 year.
Okay, does that come out of the money before it gets reported to the PM, so that the amount that shows up on my ledger is after taxes? Because I don't have any, and this is the amount of taxes paid records.
Since I don't have access to the PM side of it, I can say for sure. I do know that when I ran, I paid taxes out of. I mean, that was an expense for the event.
Okay. I'll see if I can find more details on the event-specific records then, because I don't have anything indicating taxes on the main ledgers that I've got.
Yeah, because Palmer gives us a little worksheet to fill out and figure out how much we owe in taxes, etc.
Yeah.
Well, that's usually by 3 items, right? Usually that's split between 2 events, Alaska State Fair and, well, actually, it would just this year DC would be a thing. Previously, it would have been an internal thing, so we wouldn't have really been paying taxes on that, right?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not expert on Palmer Municipal Code. It looks like the attendance fees are taxable, but I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah, I didn't get an answer on that either, so I didn't pay taxes on that because I didn't know if we were liable for them.
Well, the 2019 one would make sense. The one for this year, for DC, it would make sense to have taxes since that was open to the public, if there is a distinguishing component there. But all right. Anyway, so you're working on that, but I interrupted you, so please regain your thought wherever it was.
No, I think I was done with my thought of just needing to go through. Oh, that's the thought I was in the middle of thinking. Paperwork for DC 2019. I've not seen. It might have just turned up in the event folder and I didn't notice it yet. I can check on that like right now. But I've not seen paperwork. Yeah, I don't see anything for DC 2019 indicating the kind of cost breakdown that would tell me if we've paid taxes on that one at this time. So that's definitely going to be a thing that they'll need to look into.
Okay.
So yeah, basically just tracking down the events and seeing if I can find record of paying Palmer City sales taxes on the relevant things, and then tracking down Palmer business licenses.
Okay. All right.
So
anything else about
divert from taxes a little bit, but that's
As far as that goes, I don't know about any of the other events, but one of the options for the Highland Games that they put out is you can get like a Palmer City special event permit for $10 versus the annual biannual licenses that are also an option. So
yeah. The annual license would make more sense for us because we do at least 3 things. So that would be the state fair for $25, DC for 10, Wolf's Cry for 10, and if we do the Highland Games, that's Highland Games for another 10, which comes out to 55 versus 25 for an annual.
do we not have an annual? I thought we did.
I have no idea. I have not been able to locate any record or evidence of having any kind of Palmer license. So it might just be stashed away somewhere where I haven't found it yet, but that's a question I cannot answer at this time.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else we want to, about taxes or about anything else for the BoD for tonight? That's all I had on my agenda.
I think that's all I've got.
Okay. So I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second that motion.
Everybody's fighting for second. Okay. Good. Alrighty. Let's vote this through. I guess we need to officially do it. So, Victor, you're first. Yay or nay?
Aye.
Aye. Cameron.
Yay.
Yeah. Doug's not really there. Logan.
yep.
Michelle.
Yes.
And also yes. And oh wait, I'm getting. Okay. Cool. So we are done at 8:13 p.m. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thus concludes the BoD meeting for Amp Guard of Alaska, our June 6th meeting. So moving right along, CoC meeting. All right. First thing on the agenda, the ambassador report. Are you ready for that, Gordon?
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't have anything super formal, but For you guys keeping score at home, the circle.
I need
is
the electric tape, and I think that is by the somewhere. Oh, perfect.
Okay. The Circle of Monarchs is putting together their agenda for the GOTC meeting. So if you guys are interested in paying attention to that, you can see it on the COM list. Otherwise, once it gets finalized, I can bring it back and report it to you guys officially. And then we've got a couple other process things that are going to be voted on this month as far as amending our bylaws and how we go about putting up motions and voting and such. And that's what's going on with the COM.
Cool. And just so for those paying attention at home, I have asked Goran to represent us, since he will be attending Gathering of the Clans, to represent Northreach on my behalf for the Circle of Monarchs meeting there. And I believe you accepted that, right? Or we're not miscommunicating here?
Nope, I got it.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. So officially there, Humana, he's going to do the thing that goes with the ambassador title. Alrighty. Anything else for tonight?
Not for me, no.
No? Okay. Cool. So next item, Highland Games booth in Ravenstone. We had 3 elements that we are trying to take care of: the insurance, the payment, and the great news that... Yeah, I'm going to steal it. I was going to let somebody else say it. But no, the archery booth has arrived. We have an archery booth. So we could deploy that at cool things like the Highland Games. Now, granted, we only have the one, and, transportation for said thing is always tricky. But it's a thing within the kingdom. Logan, did you have anything you wanted to share about prepping for Highland Games?
Let's see. The paperwork is in. They just they took it, and we're like, yeah, just send us payment. So we'll sort that out, and the insurance and all that. That's pretty straightforward. They really want us there. Like, they're really, really keen to have us come in and do our thing, and then come back for future years. So they really want us to have a booth and a presence at their event, which is pretty cool. So it's a 12-hour event now that the paperwork's in, and it looks like we're pretty well definitely going. I'm going to start putting out the call for volunteers. I've already had some people who approached me proactively and were like, hey, when you get to do shifts, we want in. So we're already getting staffing, which is pretty cool.
And that's specifically June 29th.
Yes,
is that right?
I'm terrible with dates, but that sounds right. Yeah.
Okay, it's
same Saturday as Haven Glow.
Got it.
And it's like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I think, so it's going to be a long day, but we should be able to break it up for most people. Basically, I have all day Friday to do setup, and I don't anticipate being like fair booth level elaborate since it's a one-day event. I think it should go pretty quick and easy. But I think it's a great opportunity to test out the archery booth. Seems like a real good opportunity for that. So I don't think the archery booth's going to get anywhere before we do that. So, yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Did anybody have any questions about the Highland Games?
Yeah, I actually have one. If I have a birthday on Highland Games, do I get anything special?
Are you going to come help with the booth?
Maybe.
Because if you come help with the booth, then
you'll buy me lunch.
Sure.
Oh man!
I heard that there was dinner being prepped and ready to be put in people's hands for those that do this. Is that a thing?
That is for me. I don't know about anybody else.
It's a special thing. Okay.
I told Gideon, like, if I showed up at Haven Glow after doing the Highland Games, like, somebody had better put stew into my hand, but preferably in a bowl.
In a bowl.
So anyway.
Not boiling soup into your hands. Okay. Does anybody have... sorry, did you have anything else about Highland Games?
No, that's it. Should be great. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. Does anybody have anything else about the that they want to discuss for the open CoC meeting tonight, the open portion, before I do my burn down of the calendar?
Well, if you're going through the calendar, are you just going to list everything off?
Basically, yes.
All right. I was just going to remind everybody that we had Haven Glow and let you know that Gideon has pretty much sorted out the admin stuff with the campsites and all. So we'll be announcing more specifics for that shortly.
Cool. Alrighty. So here goes the burn down, guys. So this weekend, June 8th and 9th, there is more Three Barons Ren Fair. I think we're pretty decent on staffing. Maybe since we have Amanda sitting in with us tonight, if she wanted to correct me or confirm for me that may be true.
Our staffing's pretty good. We've had some really good volunteers stepping up.
Yeah. So when I spent my time there on Sunday, we had quite a few awesome people there. So big shout outs to folks that are running the ring. You guys are doing a great job. The kids are having a great time. And I think it's, kind of on track. It's good. So that's, again, Three Barons Ren Fair this weekend, June 8th and 9th. The following weekend is Newbie BBQ. That's June 15th, and that'll be at Lupine Moon. So we're going to welcome tons and tons of people, hopefully. They're all, coming to check it out. And it'll be awesome. We'll have some free food. There will be games. I'm harassing lots of different people to make sure lots of different moving parts all, work well together. So weekend after that, we got Frozen Odyssey, June 21st through 23rd in Kenai. Did you want to steal the floor for a second, Victor, or?
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
we got Frozen Odyssey coming up. We got a lot of stuff going on in very little time. But one thing that outside of Frozen Coast that you might be interested in is next week I'm going to be giving away a couple of free tickets for people carpooling, offering their own car, coming up with a bunch of other people. So I'm going to be rewarding that awesomeness. Watch for that post. It will be probably next Monday. That's all I got.
Cool. So that's Frozen Odyssey, June 21st through 23rd. And then the weekend after that, we got Ravenstone's new summer event called Haven Glow, along with their Highland Games. That'll be June 29th and 30th. Some more details about that are coming here shortly. And then right after that, we got, this one's a little less event-y, but bids will be due for Wolf's Cry 2020. So if you have ideas of cool things you want to try at Wolf's Cry, for hosting Wolf's Cry next year, get them to me before July 3rd. Details for the submission process are on the website at akampguard.com, but the basic gist of it is give me a bid via email to my email and the Kingdom email address, which should be akampguard at gmail.com, and my email address is just nalarian at gmail.com or nalarian at outlook.com. Either way. So that's July 3rd. Make sure bids are in for Wolf's Cry 2020. Then July 6th, there is more Highland Games in Homer. So all the way down at the end of the road, they got some cool stuff going on. Did you want to say anything specific about that, Sage, since we have you here?
Oh, sure. We set up a huge fighting ring because we have like an 80 by 20 space to work with. So there's a big fighting ring, and we've actually gotten a couple of players to join us from getting to check that out. They found that it was hard to just jump in. So I think it's great that AmpGuard has so many avenues for people to kind of check it out and find out about it. We also have a booth up where we'll be selling hopefully some weapons, and we'll have a bunch of information up about AmpGuard. So it'd be great if people came down, and especially, I know we have a younger Shire down here, but there's a lot of adults down here that have expressed interest. And every time I talk to them, I'm like, no, really, there's lots of adults that do this. Just here right now, it's very young. So it'd be great for them to see more adults that are all about it and let them know it's okay.
It's okay for adults to be nerdy and hit each other with sticks too. Yeah, definitely.
That's right.
Alrighty, so again, Highland Games in Homer on July 6th. And then the weekend after that is Kingdom Crown Quals in Ravenstone on Sunday, July 14th. So all those people that are putting in the letters of intent, which, by the way, is open for all the offices except for prime ministers. Submit your letters of intent where appropriate. There's kingdom posts, there's regional posts, and there's also... You need to make those public posts, but you should also be maybe sending messages to our Kingdom Prime Minister, Corin, as well, to make sure that he gets those jotted down in the appropriate locations. And then, as we get closer, make sure your reefs tests are done and prep those those Crown Quals for the weekend of July 13th and 14th, with specifically the Kingdom Crown Quals on July 14th in Ravenstone. All right, and then after you get all that crafting done, the weekend after that is Northreach Elections. So the elections will be on July 20th and 21st. In your local parks, you'll be voting on your regional officers and your kingdom officers. And then the weekend after that is Wolf's Cry. So we'll be back out at the Alaska State Fairgrounds in Palmer, July 26th through 28th for Wolf's Cry. Did I miss anything? All right, let's keep going, too. In August, we will have the Tanana Valley Fair up in Fairbanks. I don't know the exact dates because I'm a horrible person. And then later, does it still start in August, the end of August? Whatever. We'll call it end of August and early September. It's usually the time frame for it, is the Alaska State Fair, again in Palmer at the Alaska State Fairgrounds. So... I saw that Lucian is soliciting volunteers to preemptively get those things lined up. So feel free to get in contact with him. And there might have been a coordinator that was named. I'm spacing on whether that was true or if it was just some random thing I was reading somewhere. But feel free to pester Lucian. So he's available, and he's our autocrat for the Alaska State Fair. All right, is that enough things for tonight? Does anybody have any last minute additions they'd like to add? Our calendar's full, so you can't add stuff there, but anything else we want to talk about? All right, I have one bonus item because I saw the question pop up somewhere. I think I was talking to my boss, glanced at my phone and was like, oh, oops, I got to remember this for later. Didn't get anywhere else. So, remembering it. Guys, we have on the budget the notion of purchasing... Oh my god, I want to call them Legos, but that's not really their name. The big bricks. Everblocks. Yes, thank you. It's been a very long week. Everblocks. It's on our budget item. I brought up the idea of getting that purchase rolling, and I think that internally we said we were going to table it for the moment with the notion of trying to perhaps inflate that budget a little bit and expand it depending on how our finances looked later in the year and not just going off of the cash reserves that we have at the moment. Is that still the course of action that you guys would like to go with? So my question for you, CoC members that are paying attention, is would you like to hold off on purchasing Everblocks until later in the year? I'm opening the floor for discussion at the moment. Does anybody have anything they want to say about that?
Well, I'm not a CoC. Sorry. I'll defer to actual CoC members first.
All right, so Sage, you get to go first.
All right, I was just going to say, we've waited this long, we might as well see what happens with the Ren Fair and possibly even the State Fair, because if we can get a higher amount and save on that shipping, it would be well worth it.
Absolutely. So I guess the part that I glossed over was the idea of waiting as opposed to buying some now and then buying whatever extra we want later, is that the shipping is really going to be the inefficiency here in making the purchase. And so the idea is, if we're going to make a bigger purchase, we want to do it all as one thing whenever we do it. So we don't really want to split it into two purchases. I'm kind of locking in that idea. Two purchases, I think, would be a waste of shipping money. So, Cameron, I'll let you go next.
Okay, so last term when I was on the board, or not the board, I'm still on the board, on the CoC. Sorry, I've been juggling too many balls lately. When I was on the CoC, we requested bids for the different castles. We never actually got a bid for Everblocks. If I was still on the Council of Crowns, I would be pushing for opening a bid for an Everblock castle, so we actually know how many Everblocks we need, how much it's going to cost, etc.
They have an actual calculator on their website for that. I'm not too sure that that's necessary because we're literally buying a quantity and then designing it however we want. If I get your point on the bid, but really it's the dollar amount is going to be a quantity.
Yes, but if we don't know what dollar amount we need to get a quantity that's useful and how to handle shipping, etc.
Well, have we even reached out to Everblock to see what deal they were going to give us for quantity? Because that seems to be ringing a bell.
And that seems to be something that should be in the bid, to me.
So, Jason will have to correct me. I think that there was a minor reach out, like a preliminary question asked to them about something, and the deal component was less about the price per block and more about trying to help us figure out shipping, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So
the situation we're in right now is that we need to, in order to make sure that we're spending our money the I don't know, best way possible, we need to do some research on shipping alternatives. Like we need to contact some freight companies and see if what the cheapest possible way is, because it's not a shipping method that we're all super familiar with, trying to get trucking companies to move it around to a barge or whatever. Exploration there, we'll make sure that we're not getting fleeced. While I'm chatting, one other thing that might be worth noting is that if we do hold off until the fall, even the November towards December timeframe, we'll know how much money we have left over that's taxable. And that could all get dumped into Everblock so we don't have to pay taxes.
So while Cameron's concern is valid, I don't know if it plays into the question at hand, which is, do you want to try to move immediately, or do you want to hold off until later in the year when we know more of what our financial situation as an organization is going to be?
I would say to hold off until we're more sure of our financial standing for this massive spend.
Well, and what I heard from Cameron was that if we ask the kingdom to come up with a bid or a plan specifically for the blocks, that'll give us a better idea of exactly what we need to order in order to facilitate that plan. Whereas right now, I believe the plan is to just buy as many as we can.
Right, and there's lots of different shapes, toppers, all sorts of elements there. So I guess at this point we could solicit for volunteers, perhaps from some of those that were very vocal for the Everblocks would be interested in, stepping forward and giving us some options and price tiers. What do you get at, say every $500? What would be the ideal, purchase? What would that look like? Give us from 2,500 up through maybe 4,000.
Yeah, and the Everblocks website has a really cool building tool that maybe our members would have fun playing with.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so I guess I will throw that out to everybody. Somebody shoot me an email if you'd like to volunteer. If I get more than a couple folks that step up for that, then we'll figure out how to pick somebody to lead it, or maybe we'll make a small little group where you guys can all chat amongst each other and play with the simulator until we get to see some build outs and some just like I said, what would the blocks look, what would the configuration, what would the purchase be, because then once we have an idea of what those numbers look like, then we can know what to ask the shipping company. Because if we don't even know how many we're purchasing, then we don't know what we're asking shipping companies either. There's a difference between one pallet and a bunch of pallets. Alrighty, so let's just do this as a vote down the line about holding off or pushing that more immediately and trying to get that done, say, this term. I think that would be the timeline. Otherwise, it'd be this month and next month if we were being very aggressive. So would you guys like to defer into later in the year? Indeterminate time. Victor, yay or nay?
Yes.
You would like to defer? Cool. Logan, yay or nay for deferring? Okay, Michelle? I think I know what your vote is. Defer. You're muted, but okay. I little lip reading. I got you.
Sorry.
Yes.
Defer.
Defer. Okay. Sage?
Defer.
Defer. Awesome. All right. So we are going to defer for the moment, and we will. I think effectively what is going to happen is we're going to hand this to the next CoC to kind of watch, but I will try to give them as much information and as much assistance as I can, is my role during the next reign. Alrighty. Anybody have anything else that they want to discuss tonight? But there's your answer, Kyle. I think you were the one that asked about the blocks. So, anybody have anything else? No. Okay, so I think we will close the open portion of the CoC meeting for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and have a good one. But everybody else stay on the line because we've got other things to talk about, too. So, good night, everybody.